Now, moving on to a slightly more sociological than philosophical or theological perspective, then it's interesting that if we look at pretty much all human beliefs, then the majority of them, so the majority of human religions, or if you think religion is too structured a term, then the majority of all human experience of something beyond the natural, the supernatural, involves some sort of belief in the afterlife. As you see from this table, which is a survey of hunter-gatherer tribes that are still existing today. So that is groups of people who live in a hunter-gatherer society, such as our earliest human ancestors did. 79% of these groups of hunter-gatherers believe in an afterlife. Now, 100% of them believe in animism, which is the idea that the rocks and the stones and all of nature has some sort of spiritual importance and energy. And 79% of them believe in an afterlife. So it's interesting that it seems to be an almost innate component of religious belief. And this continues into the modern day. So this is a quote from a Pew Research Center survey of people who identify as spiritual but not religious. So quite relevant to one of the other questions in this John Locke essay competition. And this finds that 71% of Americans believe in heaven, while somewhat fewer, 61%, believe in hell, and 60% believe in both. So even in a very modern, capitalist and structured society such as the United States of America, there is a large majority of people who believe in heaven. So do believe that God rewards those who believe in him. So quite a common belief. Now, before we start going into ideas of supernatural reward and supernatural heaven and hell, it would be interesting to look at this from an atheist point of view. So, of course, if you don't believe in God, then your response to this question might be, of course, he doesn't reward anybody because he doesn't exist. However, rather than just going down the route of arguing that he doesn't exist, it could be interesting to look at how the concept of God. So if you just want to write this question with God put into air quotes or into quotation marks, then you could answer this question from an anthropological point of view or a psychological point of view. So does the concept of God reward people? Well, according to this survey by the Royal College of Psychologists, and this is something that you'll just hear absolutely everywhere, particularly from religious people on your doorstep who want to convert you. They will say, on balance, those who are more religious have better indices of mental health. So people who are religious are happier. Now, according to this survey, several explanations have been proposed to account for positive correlations between religious belief and mental health. These include cognitive appraisals, increased social support, healthy lifestyle. So, for example, in Islam, alcohol is prohibited, and supportive relationships with God. So, what's this saying? Well, it goes back to kind of the evolutionary reason for us being able to imagine religions or states or collectives. um, Living in a religious community gives you a community. You're no longer just an individual left by themselves in quite a lonely existence. No, you go to church on Sunday, or if you don't go to church on Sunday, at least you believe in some sort of entity who's in the skies and loves you and is caring for you and to whom you can pray. Think of in the Gospels, Jesus's advice to believers is that if ask and you shall receive. So pray to God and he will give you rewards in this life for praying to him and asking for things. So there is this idea that God does that having some sort of religious belief makes you happier as a person. However, as much as this is a common point of view, there are faults with it. So if you wanted to take this essay still from an atheistic point of view, but carry on saying God does not reward people who believe in him, then you could point out that first you'd have to acknowledge that there are these surveys saying that people with religious beliefs are happier, and some of them say that they recover from diseases more quickly. You could say that, well, there are a number of criticisms of such findings. First, there may be selection biases in recruiting subjects. So these surveys only really recruit religious people when asking these questions, or are hoping to find that religious people are happier. And secondly, that there isn't much research into the happiness of atheists or non-theists or non-religionists.